Thanks, Alastair. How special would it be for you and the team to make it 4-0 of this series?
Yeah, I think it'd be very special to win the Investec Ashes 4-0. It's never been done before. So that is our motivation as a side, and we're going to hopefully pick the right side which we think is going to win this Test match.
What's been the approach? I mean, now you've got the series in the bag. I mean, obviously you retained it at Old Trafford, but going into this last one with that at the back of your minds, what's the approach been like?
Well, it's been excellent. The training's been good the last couple of days. We haven't done anything different as if it was 1-1 in the series. That was our aim for this week. We don't know how we're going to play, but certainly in terms of preparation and the way the lads have gone about it, I couldn't ask for anything.
How good a chance has Chris Tremlett got of making his Test comeback?
Yeah, I think he's got a good chance. We're going to do what we always do, announce the team on the toss. We're going to see. As I said before, we're going to see which is the best side. We're going to try and pick the best side to win this game, and that's all that counts.
And coming back to 4-0, I mean, would that really hammer home the message? Is it an important psychological boost if you were to do it going to Australia?
Look, it's been one of those strange things, won't it? When you get to Australia, you'll be saying, well, what's gone's gone, and it has no relevance to that first hour at Brisbane. But sitting here now as a side, those little things can make a difference. If we can continue to put Australia under pressure in certain areas of their play, then we know that will hopefully count well when we go down to Australia. If we can continue winning games of cricket, then that's all we can do.
Alastair, to be remembered though as the England team which has won the Ashes 4-0 and made history in that way, I mean that must be a real motivation, because that's something that could last for a long time,
Yeah, we don't need any more motivation. That is enough for us. It always is. To win a Test match for England is a big enough motivation. We've got a lot of record breakers in this team, and the chance to add another little notch, I suppose, is great motivation. And also, every time you beat Australia, it's going to be a good feeling. So we know that's the end result. That's something which will happen at the end of the 5 days. We know that to do that, we've got to play some pretty good cricket.
There have been times, especially since Lord's, certainly sessions when Australia have been competitive, but do you think overall the balance of the side of the series would be reflected in 4-0?
Look, I don't know, but I don't know about the balance of this and that. We've always said Australia, are a good Test side. They've proven that in this series. We've won some very critical moments and won the critical moments well, and that's why we're 3-0 up. I think we're good value for 3-0. I'm proud of the way lads have achieved that. But as you said earlier, 4-0, you've achieved something very special.
Can you just clear it up? Is there anybody in the squad who's asking to be rested?
No, as I said at the beginning of this press conference, we're picking the best. We're going to pick the side which we think can win this Test.
The Oval, Alastair, the last couple of Ashes series, that's been the place where there's been a big job in terms of finishing the series. Is it nice to come here and sort of have the job done in a way?
Yeah, it is. It is. Of course it is. You have said at the beginning of the series when we're doing all that in the media days before, and to sit here now, the Oval, 3-0 up, I'd have certainly taken it then. So it's quite nice to have that relaxed feeling. It's not be all and end all, but when every time you put on that England shirt, you're desperate to deliver a performance which merits the shirt, merits the Lions, and we're desperate to do that.
And Kerrigan and Wokes are here, and obviously Chris is there, and we've had Graham Onions around before. Over the course of this summer, you've had a chance to see a lot of the guys are in and around training, so you're pretty confident that beyond the 11 that you've put out, you've got sort of a huge amount of talent again.
Yeah, I think we're quite lucky in the moment. We've got some good strength and depth, certainly in the bowling department. He's named 3 or 4 people who have been around the squad and haven't played. I think we're quite lucky at the moment. We can pick. This squad has certainly covered all aspects. If just say you want to go 2 spinners, we've got the option of going 2 spinners. Wokes is there as well. You've got that option. You've got Finney's around the squad, so we've got options to do whichever side, as I said, to pick the best.
And Darren Lehman's kind of said again, careers are on the line. He said, I think for the Australian guys, do you think you guys can finish a couple of careers if you get into them this time?
Look, I mean that's just media talk, isn't it? We know we can. We've had some success over some of their batters in particular, and hopefully we can continue that.
Alastair, you've been in the Test side for 7 years now. Is this the best England side you've been part of?
I don't know. I think certainly the one which got to number 1 in the world, 1 in Australia. that was a very good side as well. Quite familiar faces, quite a similar side. So, I think the best thing about this side in this series, I don't think we've quite hit our straps totally at all times. I think there's a lot more to come from this side as well, which is, as a captain of that, is very encouraging. And I think the players know that as well. And just watching the training session now, you wouldn't know we're 3-0 up. They're still going on strong.
You say, Alastair, although it's job done, batting-wise, I guess there are players who would do with some morale-boosting runs under their belt before the next Ashes series.
Yeah, I mean, a couple of times, a few times in this Test series, we've lost early wickets up top, and I've been the casualty a few times, so I can bear a lot of that responsibility as well. We know how important that first session is, both when you're bowling and batting, and trying to get through that, and we haven't managed to do that as well as we like to do this series. So that's obviously quite a clear area which we can get better at. And when I think, if we get that right, we become a very dangerous side.
I'll ask you about your captaincy. It became a bit of a fallout issue after Durham. I mean, you're captain who's won the Ashes now, which is a big tick in the box. But when your captaincy is scrutinised, do you take that on board, or is it sort of water off a duck's back?
I think as an England captain or any captain of an international side, it has to be water off a duck's back. It has to be, because quite rightly, everyone's got an opinion about how you do things. I think that's one of the beauties of cricket, that you've all got different opinions about it, and it'd be wrong to all think the same. I can only go what's true to what I believe in, because if I pretend to be someone else, then I'm not being true to myself, and all that authenticity you lose as a leader if you try and do that. So I've got to be true to myself. I can only say about the results we've managed to achieve in the last year. We've won in India, we beat New Zealand, and we've won the Ashes, and they're 3 quite big series, and I'm quite proud of that as a captain.
Alastair, in the midst of everything else that comes with the captaincy, do you feel like you've had enough time to attend to your own batting with all the extra demands?
Yeah, I do, and that's the honest thing. I have given my batting just as much attention as I do if I wasn't captain. So that's certainly not why I haven't scored the runs I'd like to have done in the series. It's sometimes a bit of the natural ebb and flow of form. Things haven't been quite as good this summer as they have done for the last couple of years. All I can do is know that my record suggests that I will score runs. I've done that in the past. I'm hammering my basics. I'm doing the good stuff. It's just a matter of time, hopefully, before it turns, and I get a little bit of luck, which you always need at the top of the order, and get that score. You can change a series very quickly, can't you? I've had three 50s, and if you turn 2 of those 50s into hundreds, it changes your output in the series. And one of my main strengths as a batter is normally when I get in, I do normally do that. So it hasn't been as good as I liked, but I certainly felt I've contributed as well.
I know you won't name Tim Phillips tomorrow, but just regarding Chris Tremblay, how keen are you to get him back in the fold, considering the success he had in Australia last time out?
Yeah. That's all right. Just all your eyes looking up there. It's far more interesting than I am. That's one.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I can't even remember the question about Chris Tremblay. Look, obviously he's had a tough year or so with injury and stuff. But we all saw when he was fully fit in Australia, what a hard bowler he is to face. And when you face him in the nets coming from that height, that's obviously natural height, and he gets that natural bounce, and it's very hard for a batter to score off him when he gets it right. So it's great that he's come back, and again just adds more competition to the place.
One Victorian's been a bit critical of you, Shane Warne, and your defensive tactics, but in your dressing room you have a bloke called David Saker, another Aussie, Victorian. What's been his influence on the success you've had in this series?
Well, I think he always takes a lot of credit for the success, because we've got some very good bowlers, and he's the first to shout about it. So look, he's a very valued member of our coaching staff. I think he does an exceptional job. He's a good guy to have around, and he's very opinionated on cricket.